Hello, it's David Plews from the Elders Lifestyle Group again, and here I am with Tarym Wright, our property management expert. But the big question I've got this week is, why have a property manager?
Such a good question. The reason why a lot of owners ask this question is because it sounds so easy. Really, all we're doing is collecting rent, right? So as an investor, you might think that it is just about collecting rent. You might think, I found the perfect tenant, so I'm just going to collect the rent myself and it'll be fine, it'll be easy. Like with anything, if it was really that easy, why would we have to go through such rigorous training and upkeep our own credentials every single year to make sure that we can keep doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
So with having a property manager, it is all about risk mitigation. So as an investor, the biggest thing that can happen is that your tenant stops paying rent.
Yeah.
So when your tenant stops paying rent, what do you do there? You have to start going through the processes of trying to either recoup those costs or go through the tribunal and eviction process, essentially.
Yeah.
And doing that on your own as somebody who doesn't do that regularly can be quite confronting and daunting. And if you don't follow the process correctly and go through the protocol that the legislation sets out, unfortunately it can mean that you actually maximize the expenses that you have, because the tribunal may rule against you and may rule in favour of the tenant because that protocol hasn't been followed correctly.
Yeah.
So having somebody that has been professionally trained to ensure that that protocol is followed effectively is incredibly important in minimising your risks and also minimising your expenses on the property to maximise your income.
Yeah. And there's so many tenants that know the rules behind the scenes nowadays.
We've got government bodies, such as the Tenants Union, that are really ensuring that tenants are well informed and educated on their rights as a tenant.
Yeah.
So when we have those sorts of information readily available, a tenant is absolutely going to seek that information out and try and use that information against a landlord as well. And if the landlord is, doesn't understand the legislation, they might think that, okay, well, if that's what they're saying and this is what I have, then what is actually, fair legislation?
Yeah.
That can be quite confusing, and that can put an investor in a very precarious position where they may end up not being able to recoup all the costs on their property and may find themselves in a tough negotiation scenario that they can't get themselves out of.
Yeah, good information. Thanks, Taryn.
Thank
Until
you.
next week. Thanks, guys.